Hello class. Today we will begin with the first chapter of Business Studies book first, Nature and Significance of Management. While doing this chapter, we will learn various concepts like the concept of management, the characteristics of management, the various objectives of management, why is management important or needed, the nature of management, whether it is an art or science. Is it recognized as a full-fledged profession? If not, why? Then, the various levels involved in management, the functions which are a part of management, which makes it a process, and the very essence of management known as coordination. So, that was the learning outcome of this chapter. To begin with, let me make you understand what is management. Children, the meaning of the term management could be derived from the name itself. Management means to manage. It is a process of getting things done with the aim of achieving goals by using the resources effectively and efficiently. So when we define management, we do realize that there are certain terms that we are stressing upon. One is process, the other is effectively, and the third term is efficiently. But when, as a business, you intend to achieve your goal by using the resources talks about the inputs which comes in the form of money, material, machines, methods, and manpower. These 5 M's together make resources for executing the task and ensuring that you achieve your goals. But only when these resources are handled effectively and efficiently. When you define management as a process, you need to understand why management insists on these 3 elements, which is it's a process, needs to be performed effectively and efficiently. So to understand it in a better manner, let me guide you that management as contains planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling, which are the functions that it performs to get things done. These functions make management a process because it involves a series of interrelated and continuous functions where one function leads to the other function, however separate, but they are performed simultaneously. Coming on to the next element that management requires is effective performance, which means that it aims to achieve the goals within time. Children, the key that you have to identify here is that a goal is said to be achieved effectively only when it is achieved within the time. So, a management requires effective performance. This also focuses on the end result because effectiveness refers to the extent to which an organization achieves intended results. Effectiveness in management is concerned with doing the right task, completing activities, and achieving goals within time. Then the third element is efficiency. Management needs efficiency, where you need to understand what is efficiency. Efficiency means doing the task correctly with minimum cost. So the key that you have to understand here is that efficiency is identified with the term minimum cost, as effectiveness is identified with achieving the goal within time. Similarly, efficiency is identified with achieving the goal by incurring minimum cost, that means through optimum utilization of resources. Management is concerned with efficient use of resources. Resources here entail to money, material, machines, methods, and manpower. And these five M's together reduce cost and lead to higher profit. That's why efficiency ensures to get the goal through minimum cost and optimum utilization of resources. With that, you can understand why these three words, process, effectiveness, and efficiency, form a crucial part in the definition of management. Now, maintaining same output at a lower cost of input. So to understand that why effectiveness and efficiency are called as two sides of the same coin, first thing, children, to be effective is to ensure that you deliver the order at the given time. And sometimes what happens in business is to ensure that you overcome your commitment at the scheduled time. You have to arrange for more resources, and this arrangement of more resources cost adds to the cost of production. So though you remain effective by making your delivery at the right time, but you compromise with your efficiency by adding more resources and increasing your cost. But then if you fail to be effective and fail to deliver the orders or fulfill your commitment in the given time, it will hamper your goodwill, and it will also give a chance to your competitors to take a lead in the market, because you will have an image of an organization who could not fulfill its commitments in the right time. So that is where your competitors get in and take over in the business. Whereas efficiency is also equally important, because not every time can a business afford to, compromise with the cost factor and add on to additional resources just for the sake of being effective. Because if we ignore the increase in our cost of production, in the long run, we will fail to survive in the business, because the revenue that we earn or manage to earn may somewhere stand equal to the money that we spend to generate that revenue. Therefore, to keep a control over the cost is also equally important. Hence, efficiency as well as effectiveness both are equally important, and a manager has to strike a balance between the both, because if a manager fails to be effective, he will fail to finish his target in the right time, which will earn him a bad name and which will give a chance to his competitors to get opportunity for themselves. And if a business fails to be efficient and could not keep a check on the cost of production, the revenue earned could never be enough for it to take more initiatives or expand the business and in the rising competition, it will struggle to survive in the business. Hence, poor management is both due to ineffectiveness and inefficiency. And an ideal manager would always try to strike a balance between effectiveness and efficiency. That's why these two terms have to be very deeply understood, that effectiveness talks about completing the task or achieving the end result in the given time. So time is an important constituent to be taken care of. That's why you would be called effective. And efficiency means ensuring that what you did it at the minimum cost. That's why you are called efficient, where you made the best uses of your resources. Therefore, effectiveness and efficiency both are called as the two sides of the same coin. Children, before we begin with the characteristics of management, I wish you all to make a note of efficiency versus effectiveness to keep it simple for you to understand that in what sense efficiency is different from effectiveness. Please create 3 columns for yourself. First column for the basis of difference, second for efficiency, and the third for effectiveness. The first point of difference is orientation. In efficiency, it is input and output orientation, and in effectiveness, it is oriented towards goal achievement. That is what we were talking about, the end results in the given time. Second, the point of difference is emphasis, where efficiency is about doing things rightly. When you say doing things rightly, you intend to highlight the best uses of the resources. And in terms of effectiveness, the emphasis is on doing right things. That is, to ensure to finish the assignment in the given time. So it somewhere ignored the cost factor, but it focuses on adherence to the time frame. And the third point of difference is the focus, which says that efficiency has a focus on the means. That means the resources that you use, whereas effectiveness focuses on the ends. That means the result that you achieve. So with that, children, I hope as of now you could understand the concept of what is management, what are the 3 essential elements of management, namely process, efficiency, and effectiveness. Why efficiency and effectiveness are called as the 2 parts of the same coin, and then how is efficiency different from effectiveness. Moving forward, let us now discuss the characteristics of management, which you can see in front of you as given, that management is universal, it is goal-oriented, it is a continuous process, it is multidimensional, it's a group activity, it's a dynamic function, and it's an intangible force. Out of these various characteristics of management, generally the case study based questions focuses on the characteristics like why management is multidimensional, or where a case makes you apply your concept and find out that which characteristic of management is being highlighted towards. So that's where the characteristics based questions, make a difference in the question paper. So when you develop an understanding about what characteristic means what, this understanding helps you identify the actual case study problems where you are supposed to figure out the most appropriate characteristic as given in the case study. So I will be giving you an idea about the kind of questions that are asked in the slides to come. Let us now first understand what does these various characteristics mean. Beginning with, management is goal oriented. Children, every organization or every business has a purpose. So when you talk about a purpose, it says that it has a goal to achieve. Therefore, you need to manage your resources, and you are managing your resources in order to ensure that you end up achieving your goal. Therefore, you can understand that management is ought to be goal oriented. If we go by the simple narrations given here, every organization wishes to achieve some goals. Goals give purpose to a business. They must be clear, simple, and management helps a business by setting goals and achieving goals by combining the efforts of different individuals. Children, what's to be noted here is that the goal is supposed to be clear and simple, because unless it is clear to an individual that what he is supposed to do, he cannot ensure that he is doing it in the right way. Moreover, whether he is giving it in the best way possible or not. So once I know that I'm supposed to do what and in what manner, I might be more efficient in performing that job. So our goal has to be clear and simple. Secondly, that management basically combines the efforts of different individuals. Remember, children, management is all about getting work done through others and to ensure that you make the optimum use of your resources. That is where you understood the meaning of effectiveness and efficiency. So if it is about ensuring that you're using your resources in the most effective and efficient manner, that the entire zest about managing your resources is to ensure that you achieve your goal. That's why the first characteristic of management is that management is goal oriented. Come to the second point. Management is a group activity. Obviously, management involves a collection of people, because if there is not a group to be handled, there is not as much the importance of the word management. Ideally, management deals with various individuals of, and you know that human are supposed to behave in their own manner. They are different from machine. They do not respond in a uniform manner. That's why management has a challenge where you ensure that people with different perspective come together for a common purpose and work as a team. So what management does is that it binds different individuals together as a team and ensure that there is coordination among them, so that whatever they do adds to the achievement of organizational goal and makes the business move one step forward. So what management does is to handle a group and ensure that every individual has a defined role and they all work to achieve the organizational goal. That is why management is called as a group activity. Class, Let's now discuss the another characteristic of management, which is this management is intangible force. I hope you all understand that intangible means something which cannot be seen or which cannot be touched. And you must have heard this word in relation with goodwill, right? So when we talk with reference to management, imagine a situation that you went to a restaurant, you ordered something, but the service was not on time, and then even what was provided was something which you didn't order. We easily pass on a remark in such situation that what a mismanagement. Or we can, when it times to give reviews, you can easily say that it's not a good place to be, there's no management, uh, or there's lack of management. So the idea from this example is that what you were talking about was the impression that you created due to the non-delivery of the commitments as expected to be delivered from the next business or the restaurant. Therefore, when something does not go in an orderly manner and we find it mismanaged, similarly, when something goes in an orderly manner and when there is no chaos and no confusion, we identify that situation as that things are very well managed. Situations which make us feel that there is harmony in the organization, or the employees of the organization are happy, they are successfully meeting their targets, that establishes the evidence of existence of management. That's why management is identified as an intangible force which cannot be seen, but its effect can be felt. So, management therefore is also characterized as an intangible force. Moving next, the next characteristic says management is a continuous process. We already discussed this term process in the definition of management and identified that why management is termed as a process, because it is made up of interrelated and interdependent functions like POSDC, that is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. They are separate functions, but one function leads to the other function. That's why they're arranged in a series. And each function is different from the other function and is performed simultaneously. That's why it is called as an ongoing series. And when all these functions together needs management to be exercised, that's why management is called as a continuous process. Next characteristic is management is pervasive. Children, we know that one thing which is common to every organization, when I'm not talking about especially a business, be it any organization, say for example, even if you take an example of an economic, political, social or religious activity, say for example, your own family, which is a social organization. The two things are very common with an organization, and they are one management, the other is the manager, right? So why management is called pervasive? Because irrespective of the type of organization or type of activity, it is present everywhere and it is required everywhere. So that's why Management is identified as a pervasive process. With that, we finish the slide. Let me take you to the next slide. Let us now discuss the characteristic of management, which says that management is multidimensional. Children, this is one of the most important characteristic of management because this characteristic talks about three different dimensions of management. One, management of work, the other, management of people, and the third, management of operations, which I'll be showing you through the next slide. But all these three sub-dimensions together are the reasons why management is identified as multidimensional. Now, to understand it, let me explain that as management is a complex activity having three dimensions. First dimension is management of work. Children, all organizations exist for the performance of some work. And what management does? Management translates this work in terms of goals. How? By setting goals and dividing the work to achieve them. So, when management translates this work in terms of goals to be achieved, and then it assigns the means to achieve it. That means the resources which facilitates the achievement of the goal. This involves decision making, budget making, sharing duties, etc. That's why the first important dimension is the dimension where we need to manage the work. Second comes management of people. We know that management identifies human resource as one of the key and the biggest asset that an organization has. So management has to deal with human resource through first uh, identifying individual with their personal goals, and secondly identifying individuals as a group. Now, to understand, it means that when we talk about individual with personal goals, it implies dealing with people who are employees of an organization as individuals with diverse needs and behavior. See, children, if you see any organization, you'll find that people working in an organization may have different background, and there could be different living standards as well. So what motivates a person to perform his duties with his optimum potential could be a reason which might not be the reason of motivation for the other individual. So it involves people with diverse needs, and they might have different perspectives and different purposes in their life. So first thing that management has to understand that the people who are together creating the human resource for the business are people who have their personal goals as well. So management has to ensure that it identifies individual with their personal goals. Secondly, we have already understood that management is required because it is a process of getting work done through others. So when it is about collection of people whom you need to manage to ensure the achievement of a common goal, you have to identify those individuals as a group that you are dealing with. It also means dealing with individuals as a group of people who are moving in a common direction for the purpose of a common goal. So management can ensure the management of people only when it understands that there are two different dimensions that it has to take care of. One is that individual with uh, personal goals, and second is that identifying individuals as a group, that where it can actually ensure that human resource is being utilized in the most feasible manner. And a good manager is the one who ensures to mm, keep his individual as well as team of people as a group motivated in such a manner that whatever they contribute towards the achievement of organizational goal ultimately helps them to achieve their personal goals. Then let me take you to the explanation of what is management of operation, which is in the next slide. So children, with reference to management of people, if you are a good manager, what you do is you improve upon the strength of your team and you also ensure to remove their weaknesses, and that's where you develop a very efficient team which contributes towards the achievement of organizational goal. Talking about management of operations, children, it involves managing those activities which are relevant for producing goods or rendering services, as every organization has some basic product or service to provide in order to survive. So through management of operations, it uses those inputs and technology to convert raw materials into finished goods. It is interlinked with both management of work and management of people, because you can have a successful operation, a team which is operating as per your expectations only when you are able to manage your work. That means you are able to set your goals and divide the work, and also you are able to manage your people as a team and as an individual. And that's why one thing to be noticed here is that management of operation, this sub-dimension is interlinked with both management of work and management of people. Let us now discuss the characteristic which says that management is dynamic. Children, the word dynamic in itself signifies something which keeps on changing. So, a management has to be dynamic because in order to respond to the external environment, which entails to social, political, economical, or technological or legal environment of a country, the factors which are not in the control of a business, that your business is exposed to, these dimensions, and management ensures that you are in, you develop a capacity to face these changes happening due to changes through these dimensions. And management is adaptive because it interacts with the external environment, because you cannot work or operate or run your business in isolation. You have to face the changes happening outside your business. See, when you talk about your business, people who are working with you, uh, those who create your internal environment can still be controlled and managed as per your convenience. But when you talk about things which are beyond your control, they are the factors of external environment, which are the social factors, the political factors, or the economic factors, or the technological factors, or legal factors, which is beyond the control of a business. But for a business to be successful, its management should be dynamic so that the business is able to face the changes happening outside its control, and the management is adaptive, and that's how management is dynamic, because it enables the business to face such changes happening beyond its control. So it not only ensures that the business is able to cope up with the changes happening outside the business, but it also enables the business to survive in the long run. And when the business upgrades itself according to the changes happening outside, the business actually gains a competitive edge. So any change that's happening outside can be actually taken as an opportunity for the business and, work in favor of the business. Say, for example, when demonetization happened, the business organizations had to think of a way where they can facilitate digital payment, online payment. That's how you can see how Paytm emerged as a major source of payment. And initially, there were businesses which did not adapt to it quickly. They tried to resist it as well. But think of businesses which quickly installed these Paytm options, and they could so easily get out of the, that stuck up situation and still continue making profit. So this is what management all is all about. Management helps you to respond to the changes happening outside in such a manner that it makes you dynamic enough to face the changes happening outside and also provides you with a competitive advantage. With that, we finish up with the characteristics of the management. Children, I highly recommend you to review the slides and go for the literature given in the NCERT, and please come across with any query that you have. Thank you, and we'll soon see you with next set of slides. Till then, keep revising, check out if you have a doubt, and do drop me your queries. Take care, be safe. Thank you.